And what I want to get into with you is a little more motivational, perhaps inspirational, hopefully, for you to recognize your self-worth in all of this. Well, first you have to see, of course, that you got you here. You have a lot of people to thank and blame for where you're at in your life. But the one who ultimately took the step was you. It was you all along. And it's easy to forget that when the circumstances are hectic and emotional, turbulent, and you're caught up in thoughts and caught up in the drama. It's the telling of this story of your life to yourself and others. And you kind of look at your life in terms of a storyteller, wondering what the ending's going to be, how did it all start, piecing it all together along a timeline. When you're doing that and you're in the midst of doing that, it's easy to forget that actually all that's really going on is you're just sitting there thinking about it or talking about it. Reminiscing, ruminating, contemplating, figuring, just rolling stuff around in the upstairs, in the mental room inside of you. And you and I and all of us are kind of addicted to that, where it's really habit. And it doesn't actually do a lot. Perhaps you're the type of person who's found themselves rehearsing a conversation with a certain person. Maybe it's a coworker or a brother or a spouse or something like that, and you're coming up to a head of a difficult conversation, so you kind of rehearse it out before it even happens, and maybe in the midst of it you're not even realizing, but you're actually making up what the other person is saying in this scenario that you're playing out, this virtual experience. And you're getting yourself all worked up and wrapped up in all these emotions over something that doesn't actually exist in real life. I suppose this could be especially more for younger people, especially in high school. It's and adults too, really everybody growing up, and a lot of adults never seem to get over this one, is worrying about what other people think of you. And then spending that time, that precious time, your minutes and hours on the clock throughout the day, you're spending in this imaginal realm where you're imagining what other people are thinking about you. Forgetting that what you think that somebody else thinks about you is actually you thinking that you're just projecting this, so to speak, scenario, this event that isn't really occurring in actual space, but again, it's happening to you experientially, and you are still undergoing all of the emotions and chemical releases that come with those thoughts and ideas and scenarios and that story and drama played out in your head. But again, where I'm going with that, where I'm pointing at with that, is that you're making it up. And we're all doing it. Everybody, from every background, all over this world, every language, I don't care where you're from, or what religion, what philosophy, whether you're atheist or logical, analytical, creative type, none of that matters. Everybody is making up their life as they go through it, as they tell themselves the story of what's going on. Tell themselves who they are, tell others who they are, tell others their opinions. Every time you have a feeling or a thought or an opinion about what you're doing, you first off tell it to yourself, and then there's a narrator, there's a talker, perhaps multiple speakers within your own mind that have this interplay with each other, and then you take that and bring it to the dinner table or bring it to the office. And it could be about anything. It could be about what's going on the news, what's going on with politics, what's going on in the Middle East. Each and every one of us is telling the story. But what we don't realize is that it's just a story. And the story is actually what we're predominantly experiencing throughout the day, not actually what's happening. Actually what's happening is right here, right now, this moment. Your now, my now, me sitting here in front of a camera with some lighting and a couch, just trying to get my thoughts out. That's what's actually happening right now. Yeah, there's this world out there, but it doesn't matter in the sense that it's not materialized right here before me. It's immaterial. It's in a non-physical space where only I can think about it. Yeah, there might be something happening out there, but it's so unfathomable that I would have to pick something to think about, put that into a setting, assign rules and beliefs and definitions to whatever that setting is and the people that are involved in it, and experience this very finite, singular, angled perspective on an imaginary place and time. And that's what most people are doing throughout their day, instead of listening to the music that's playing in the store they're in while they notice the way that the guy in front of them is grumbling to himself about his lottery ticket or something like that. There's so much going on right here, right now, but because of the sensationalization of technology and media, social media, these little devices here have made the outside world, this world that is beyond our personal now, so exciting and bright and bombastic and fantastical and exciting, and I just said that it distracts us from our lives and right here, right now, and we create this separation where we think this is more mundane and boring, and why would I ever sit down and meditate? That seems so boring and I'm not getting anything done, especially for you get up and go do kind of people, the doers. So maybe I'd like to pump the brakes a little bit on that and talk about just the power of meditation and what that can do. Excuse me. So, something that I bring up all the time and I always will bring up to anyone I'm talking about is right now. And not because it's like catchy or because of actually how true it is, but because it puts the power back in your domain. It throws the ball back in your court. And the act of meditation is like, okay, now you've got that power back. Now you harness it and you tune into it. You sharpen your mind. You expand your awareness. You increase your focus. You clean out all the clutter of your mind for a while. And in a sense, like if you're, say, sharpening or honing a blade, you could think of the power being the oil that you use to slick that blade and make sure that you get a nice, smooth, clean finish as you work it. And you know, in terms of like breath, like in and out. And doing that back and forth is like the motions that you learn over time as you sharpen a blade. And the oil and the whetstone is right now, is your consciousness as you're imbuing this tool called your mind, with greater purity, greater integrity, creating a sharper point, a cleaner cut. You're able to find your memories quicker, find the words that you're trying to say with greater articulation and alacrity. There's so much benefit in harnessing that power. So that's how I'm referring to meditation in this way. It's a time in which you harness that power for yourself, for you, for your body, for your mind-body connection. I just want to assist in helping you find new perspectives over this multifaceted crystal of a being that you are. I want you to see the other sides. I want you to see the sides of yourself that you're afraid to look at, because there's something actually great there. And all the fear that you have that keeps you from looking at that is made up. You made that up. That's how fear works, see? It's made up. It's what protects us. It's what protects our heart. It's our mind, our mind's way of protecting that which is pure within each and every one of us, is by erecting fear. And then some run away with it and use it to control others, and obviously that's got to go. But it goes by recognizing your own power. It goes by recognizing that fear is a lie, and the actual real truth is deeply connected to you, as it is me, as it is everyone. And some refer to it as the light. Some refer to it as love. You can call it consciousness. You can call it the universe. You can call it whatever you want. Hare Krishna, Jehovah, Yahweh, Jah, whatever you want. It's just fine by me. Please, all power to you. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? If I could just sit on a couch with you and talk to you and find out what it is that you're looking for. I know that there's a way to talk about that. I know that there's an angle of approach that you haven't taken yet. And I want you to know that. I want you to remember that when times are tough and you can't figure it out and you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place, or you've been dealt a bad hand, or you've run a bunch of bad luck, you're experiencing the dark night of the soul, you're depressed, anxious, whatever. When it's the hardest, remember, there is a perspective, an angle that you're not seeing this from. And what you're going through is having blinders up. You're looking through a very narrow tunnel. And that's when it's hardest to see the light, is when you're so focused in on something that's really got your goat, that's really just triggering you and getting you all emotional, and it's got you all focused in this muck. And you can remember in those moments that there is another way of looking at that. You will find a new vantage point because you are a consciousness, and that's what it does. You see, the consciousness remains. It's the perspective and the experience and the circumstance that's always changing and always in this motion around you as consciousness. So take a few steps back by practicing meditation more often, by actually doing it. There's only so much you can listen to. There's only so much classes you can take. You can go visit gurus or preachers or priests or therapists. But at the end of the day, you've got to do the work. You've got to take the step. You've got to develop that muscle. The muscle of mastering your mind. And as you do that, and you develop that skill, and you build up that ability, it'll become easier for you to take that higher vantage point when things are dark and grim, or when everyone else around you is looking down in the dumps and can't see their way out. They're going to rely on you to be able to look up above and say, oh, hey guys, we just got to go over there. That's what being a leader means. It's just having the vantage point, being able to see ahead of everybody. And that's what I'm saying is deep down inside of each and every one of us, we're all leaders. We're all leaders, right? I'm not here trying to amass a following. No, I'm trying to create leaders who lead their life, who lead their story, who tell the story that they want, who put the cameras where they want and the lighting where they want, and they get all the cast members that they want, and they make the setting what they want, because that's what you have control over. Quite seriously, it's what we all have control over. You know, and I'll admit, I'm privileged, okay, and I'm grateful to be an American. I live in America, and because of that, you know, there's a lot of experiences of struggle and strife and imprisonment, slavery, and all that I haven't had to experience. And I get that, and I accept that, and I do everything I can to not take that for granted. And that's where I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. I'm grateful. And the more that I'm grateful, the more I find things to be grateful for. And I recognize that as that's me putting that out there, putting the vibe out there, putting the frequency out there, tuning into that station. And that's the channel I get. That's the channel I get more and more, the more and more I practice. And the more and more I meditate and practice that mental discipline, the easier it gets to tune into the station that I want to be in. And then I'm less and less influenced by moods and attitudes and state of minds, because I recognize how all that emerges. That emerges from consistent, constant, incessant thought and thinking and storytelling and self-talk and the talk of others. But I see where that is, and that has a place. And that isn't who we are. The stories that we tell aren't who we are. We are the ones that tell the story and listen to the story and are aware of the story. And that's so much more, okay? That's so much more. And hope that you're all listening. It's not really an informative, I mean, it can be informative. It's me just kind of gushing out some thoughts, putting out some ideas for you to think about. And I know a lot of these ideas I keep coming back to, but there really isn't going to be any way that I can flesh out that information that you want to hear, that you have questions about, unless you leave a comment. Leave a comment, ask a question. See, I will be happy to. I'm pretty new at this. I mean, give me topic, I will talk about that topic. And if it involves you, a philosophy that you have, two parts of this puzzle you can't put together, maybe it's a religious vantage point that you want more clarification on, whatever it is, you know. I love talking about this. I love thinking about this, and I'm going to keep doing this. So if you want to know more, leave a comment, drop an email. It's all on my YouTube. You know, check that out. I'd be happy to. This is what I want to do. So don't be afraid of asking questions. don't be afraid of shaking it up a little bit. Don't be afraid of challenging me either. If you completely disagree with what I say, but you're still here listening to this, then I want to know. Or maybe you like it. Then like it, share it, spread me around a little bit, because that will help. Just know that I'm not here to tear anybody down. I'm not here to defy your beliefs or anything like that. I'm just here to empower you and help you recognize that you're much more than you might have given yourself credit for, or your parents might have given you credit for, or your teachers have given you credit for. I'm saying you're more than all of that. You are the one that's having a life. You're the one that's having an experience. And that alone puts you in a position that nobody else has. Nobody else is you. I mean, that's pretty dang incredible, and I'm serious. Cool. Well, thanks for watching. If you're still tuned in. I bounced around a lot, but I hope to break it up into several parts. And maybe you'll like it like that. Thank you.